This is the world's most advanced trawler for shrimp fishing. Just one trawling net alone is worth up to $200,000. Each voyage, spanning just 3 weeks, can yield up to 400 tons of Arctic shrimp, generating revenue of up to $1 million and bringing in $140,000 in commission for the 26 crew members on board. It does more than just catch shrimp. It's also a floating sea factory. All of the shrimp are processed, packaged, and frozen right here on board. It navigates through the harsh Arctic seas, sometimes riding the waves, sometimes breaking through ice. Thus, it also serves as a formidable icebreaker, all thanks to the steel shell that's about 1.2 inches thick encasing its body. Its bow extends forward, allowing it to crush through ice layers up to around 3.3 feet thick. This is the Akamalik, a trawler that's about 280 feet long, belonging to the Royal Greenland Shrimp Company. It is currently docked at a port on the southwest coast of Greenland, loading up on supplies and getting ready for its next long-haul shrimp fishing trip. The maritime environment is harsh, with voyages lasting from a short 2 to 3 weeks to as long as 2 months. So there needs to be a sufficient stock of vegetables, fruits, and meats. The 26 crew members come from a mix of Inuit fishermen from Greenland and Danish technicians. Each person's salary depends on the volume of shrimp caught, with a base salary plus a commission model in place. Monthly earnings range from $5,000 to several tens of thousands of dollars. However, working on the deck in temperatures as low as -22 degrees Fahrenheit is not without its dangers. Nearly all of Greenland's exports are fish and shrimp. This is their fundamental means of survival. The fishing industry here dates back 4,500 years, to when the Inuit first settled here and made their living from fishing. Now, the captain starts the ship, beginning a perilous 3-week shrimp fishing journey. It takes a day's sailing from the port to reach the shrimp fishing grounds. During this time, the crew must sort out the fishing nets and mend any holes. The Akamalik has a total of 3 trawling nets. 2 are used for catching shrimp, and 1 is kept as a spare. Each net weighs about 2,200 pounds and is priced close to $200,000, bringing the total value of all 3 nets to over $600,000. Although this might seem exorbitant, for the fishing boat and fishermen, it's just a drop in the ocean, because the value of the Arctic shrimp caught in 1 net alone can reach up to $45,000, easily bringing in millions of dollars worth of shrimp in just 1 trip. The technicians in the engine room must constantly monitor pressure data and temperature changes to ensure the normal operation of the 6,660 horsepower engine. This ship has a maximum range of about 10,000 miles, enough to head south all the way to the Bahamas. However, today's mission is not about traveling. It's about shrimp and making money. The traditional shrimp fishing grounds are located near the southwest maritime area of Greenland. The shrimp live about 1,600 feet beneath the ice. The captain relies on his experience to decide which waters to head to. If he makes a wrong judgment, it could impact the income of everyone on board. Next, the workers install the 7-ton steel drag board in place. Its purpose is to open the mouth of the net underwater, and an 8.5-ton copper roller is fixed in the middle position to ensure that the water flow expands the net mouth to a width of about 230 feet on each side. In this area, it gets dark by 3 p.m., and the sea surface is covered with ice. The duty officer must stay fully focused. Even a giant ship like the Titanic sank because it failed to detect an iceberg. The next morning, the captain takes over the cockpit, ready to lock onto the depth and location of the Arctic shrimp using a high-speed echo sounder. Once the general direction is confirmed, they prepare to cast the first net of this voyage. At this moment, the Akamalik is in the frigid southwest waters of Greenland, capturing Arctic shrimp. The Inuit fishermen are casting trawling nets more than 300 feet long. The echo sounder on the fishing net helps them detect the movement patterns of the shrimp. A tension sensor is installed at the end of the net, and as the catch in the net gradually increases, the net is pulled up once a certain value is reached. The captain also reduces the speed of the ship from 14 knots to 2 knots. A sensor is installed on the trawling net every 2 meters. The current outdoor temperature is -28 degrees Fahrenheit, and if someone falls into the freezing cold sea, they would basically lose consciousness within 15 minutes and meet their maker within 45 minutes. However, this doesn't completely deter the fishermen's enthusiasm for making money. When the fishing net sinks to just around 3 feet above the sea floor, The Akamalik shrimp trawler begins to drag the net at a speed of 5 knots. Operating this ship costs as much as $27,000 a day, so catching big shrimp is essential to maximize profits. In the processing factory inside the ship, everything is ready and waiting for the moment to pull up the net. The captain sees through the monitor that the red lines are getting longer and thicker. 8 hours after the net is cast, 2 red lines appear, indicating that there are at least 9 tons of Arctic shrimp in the net. The crew then begins the process of pulling up the net. The 16-foot-high waves are directly hitting the deck, and afterwards, the steel drag board is lifted up. The crew then uses ropes to tie the fishing net and attach it to the cables above. Using the winch, they slowly retrieve the fishing net and then open the net to pour the shrimp into the hold. The shrimp are conveyed along with the water flow to the processing factory inside the ship. First, they go through a catching machine, which pushes a small amount of fish back into the sea, leaving only the Arctic shrimp. Then a worker manually picks out seaweed and other impurities. The entire conveyor belt is over 0.6 miles long, almost 15 times the length of the ship. It can process 80 tons of Arctic shrimp per day. The shrimp are then sorted by size. The price of large shrimp is about 3 times that of the small ones. The largest category of shrimp is basically sold to Japan, as they offer relatively higher prices. The smaller shrimp that slide down through the machine at the end of the process are sent to other Asian countries. Next comes the packaging step. After being labeled, the shrimp are frozen for 3 hours until they reach 0° F. Finally, they are strapped up and sent to the freezer. However, as of now, the mission is not over. They must complete a catching task of 400 tons. In the kitchen, the chef is preparing delicious steaks for everyone. This fishing boat operates 24/7, and being a chef on board is a quite heavy responsibility. He knows that everyone is not a fan of seafood, so big steaks become an essential delicacy every day. After 3 p.m., the sky turns completely dark. The Akamalik continues to brave the icy waters, making its way northward. In the meantime, the fishermen need to seize the opportunity to inspect the fishing nets again, fixing any tangled or damaged areas. Below the deck, technicians are busily repairing a burst cylinder. Soon, they will embark on the ultimate shrimp fishing expedition. Pay attention and notice why this trawler, when pulling up its nets, captures solely shrimp and no fish. It turns out that an advanced device has been installed on the fishing net to prevent anything other than shrimp from entering. This device is located at the 2/3 point of the net and features a groove. Any fish larger than about 1 inch are filtered out. If the Arctic shrimp that are hauled up are too small, they are pre-packaged. First, they go through 3 large freezers, each weighing about a ton. After being flash frozen, the shrimp are swiftly packed into bags and stored in the freezer. Today marks the 6th day at sea for the Akamalik's shrimp fishing expedition. In October, filling the entire trawl net takes just an hour. However, in January, it takes 6 to 8 hours. Currently, the factory's production capacity is less than half, so the captain cannot afford to relax. He must lead the fishermen in search of more and larger Arctic shrimp. As the wind changes direction, more and more ice floes appear on the sea surface, meaning higher fuel costs for the ship. Therefore, the captain decides to sail 120 miles to the south. 20 hours later, they reach a new fishing area. Here, they encounter waves as high as 33 feet, and the lower the temperature, the larger the waves, and the larger the Arctic shrimp they can catch. Despite the huge waves and extremely low temperatures freezing the fishermen's limbs, each person is working hard, fighting for a better life. The waves have not stopped, but the factory inside the ship is as stable as a factory on land. This stability is due to a sophisticated horizontal stabilizing chamber installed at the bow. When the ship tilts, water in the stabilizing chamber shifts from one side to the other, keeping the ship safe and level. The tons of large shrimp caught are conveyed to a large pot, cooked for 5 minutes, then quickly cooled and frozen. The entire process takes just 20 minutes. It is now the 9th day since they set out to sea, and they have only reached 1/3 of their fishing target. However, image detection reveals that a layer of ice, 2 meters thick, is quickly forming in the nearby waters. If they do not leave, they will be surrounded by ice. Making money is important, but safety is the captain's top priority. He once survived a fishing boat fire, staying in the water for 3 hours before being rescued, although one crew member did not make it. This traumatic experience still haunts him to this day, and he does not want to see such a tragedy happen to his own ship. As a result, He regularly organizes abandoned ship drills and tests the performance of waterproof suits. In his heart, the value of life surpasses everything else. In the event of an irreversible accident, all personnel must abandon ship and escape. This waterproof suit is made of polyurethane material, allowing one to float in water while also preventing hypothermia. It can extend a person's survival time by up to 6 hours. Following this, the Trawler shrimp boat made its escape from the ice flow region. As the sun rose and set, they tirelessly cast and hauled in their nets, eventually capturing around 484 tons of Arctic shrimp. The entire voyage lasted 3 weeks. It was a long, cold, damp, and challenging task. Every sea outing by these hard-working Inuit fishermen could be said to be fraught with danger to their lives. However, effort and diligence do pay off. From this trip, each fisherman will earn an income ranging from $5,000 to $10,000. After a brief period of rest and repair, they will continue on to the next deep-sea shrimp fishing voyage. That's the end of today's video. If you like our content, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.